Hi and welcome along to the Bias Premier League show, brought to you today by Boohoo Man. Don't forget you can get up to 40% off. All you got to do is click the link in the description and check out all of their great range. They've also got some great incoming stuff for the autumn and winter as we approach that, if we did ever have a summer anyway. We've got White Yardie here. He's not in the building today. He's actually up in Liverpool. Now, what are you doing in Liverpool? I know that you normally... right, it's a place that you try to avoid because you're always digging out them Liverpool fans. Up in Liverpool, what are you doing up there?
Come see if Liverpool have any players we can borrow. You know what I mean? See if we can thief clap from them as well or anything right now. Anniversary, you know what I mean? I was meant to be coming up here from last year, remember?
Yeah.
And through COVID and things like that. So yeah, this time around.
The anniversary. Oh, congratulations, man.
Yeah,
that
man.
looks like a nice place. It looks nice there.
Yeah, nice, man. I mean, man, carpet brand new. It have the feature walls and everything. Can head big. Yo, proper. I'm telling you.
See, you're lucky. At least you've had a good weekend, mate. Unlike me.
No.
You know what I mean?
I came after. What do you mean? You talk about Friday? Or we not talking about Friday yet?
Well, well, obviously we've got to talk about Friday, but I'm saying at least with you, after Friday, you've been able to go up and have a lovely weekend, right? And take your mind off it. Whereas me, I ain't. I've had it in my ear from these fans, especially when you see Manchester United win emphatically, brilliantly. When you see Liverpool, Chelsea, where you are, you see Liverpool win 3 goals they scored. You see Chelsea win 3 goals they scored emphatically. You see Tottenham put in a good performance and they win, beating Man City. West Ham
come back from 2-0 all the way up.
Yeah, 2-1 down. West Ham, Leicester, they all won. Everybody won apart from us. And it was a horrific performance. We were at last week for the Bias Premier League show. We was at the ground. We was at the stadium there in Brentford. I was at the game on Friday.
So
the one you was at the game as well. Yeah, I forgot you was at the game as well. The one positive for the whole thing was that it was just good to be back in a stadium, wasn't it?
That's it. That there was nothing else I can. You see, the thing is, Robbie. Yeah, I know there's these trolls. I'm gonna call them trolls. Yeah, whether they're genuinely a real account that comments and say stuff that feels like we only breed negativity on this channel and we only want to talk about negativity things. I ask them, please tell me some positives right now so I can then express that, because right now I cannot take anything positive from what I am seeing. Nothing positive from what I am seeing. The player, I've come to this conclusion, yeah. We know that Lacazette and Aubameyang we saw that they're gonna be out on the day we realized they're gonna be out. So it's like, all right, cool. Gives it a chance now for us to see Martinelli, Saka, and Pepe up front, or whoever he's gonna play up front. He played Balogun up front for what fans have been calling for all last season. Play Balogun. Poor. But the thing that I had to look at now, because this is the first time actually seeing this team play like live. We was back in the stadium, so we actually get to see the team, because that was the whole thing for me. I'm not buying jerseys, I'm not buying kits, I'm not buying season tickets, I'm not. But you know what? That ticket came available. I said, you know, let me go and see for myself if the TVs are showing me something different. That's what it is. I want to see if like there's something different that I am seeing at home. And I'm telling you, if I've come to the conclusion that I've said it before, that I feel like the job's too big. There's no way all these players can be that bad, Robbie. There's no way. Arteta's tactics are not working. The players, we don't play creativity. We got rid of Ozil. Like, we know Ozil gone, he's not come back, but we got rid of Ozil and we haven't replaced a creative midfielder. When Santi Cazorla gone, we had a replacement. There's players that we have not replaced in the middle. So we are creating nothing. So we could put Messi up front. We could put Mbappe up front. We could put anybody up front. They're not going to get anything because we're not creating anything for them. So
yeah, and you know what?
Sorry, even in terms of Aubameyang, I would say I am going to apologize for some of the things I've said, because in a way, I feel like maybe if he was getting the supply, even though we know he missed a lot of chances, but sometimes you're not getting it. Your motivation is gonna go down as well. Lacazette as well. Like, we put anybody up front, we're not gonna get goals, man. I can't see.
Yeah, you know what's even more worrying to me, Yardy, yeah. So when I watched that game, I was in the ground just like you were, and I looked at it and I said, you know what? It's not even signings. It's not even signings. It's not even the fact that. So you say, oh, we need a creative player, but the system that Arsenal are playing, even with a creative player in there, they're not really going to do nothing.
They're not going to do nothing.
Because we spend like so much of the game with the ball in our own half, messing around with the ball at the back. Trying to do this little risk and reward, playing out from the back, which is slow, which is ponderous, which we get caught very easily. Yeah, we get caught very easily with, and it's slow. I just could not see. There was a guy sat next to me, really nice guy, and he said to me, he goes, "What is our plan? What's our pattern of play? There's not." And that was the most worrying thing to me. I started to look on it and I'm thinking, it don't matter if you go and get, if we're playing like this, if you go and get 3 or 4 signings in brand new, which we do still need, by the way, it's not going to make no difference. And that's where I'm starting to now look at the manager and say, like what you said, is this job too big for him? And I agree with you. We're trying not to be negative. You heard the atmosphere from the Arsenal fans was brilliant in the stadium. They weren't on his back. They weren't on the players' back. They went there. They were glad to be back. They really wanted to show their support for the team. But when you see a performance like that, how can you be inspired? How can you be encouraged? And then he comes out at the end, all right, fair enough, he's apologized, for the performance, but it's just not good enough. First match, you're supposed to be full of enthusiasm.
Robbie, let me just ask you. Who would you say, if you were to say, who's Arsenal's best player? If you used to name somebody right now, young or whatever, who's Arsenal's best player?
It's probably, if he's on form, it's probably Aubameyang or Thomas Partey.
I mean, our best player right now. Oh,
right now? If he would have played, it would have been Thomas Partey. Our best player right now is Emile Smith-Rowe, from what I saw. Or Saka. Emile Smith-Rowe was excellent in the game. Saka, of course, I mean, the only thing I'd say.
So my thing is, why would Arteta not start one of his best players, Saka? Why wouldn't you?
What I'd say to that, right, and this is the only mitigating circumstances I have for Mikel Arteta. The only thing that I'm gonna say, right, why I'm trying my hardest not to get too carried away, is that when you look at the circumstances, no Aubameyang, no Lacazette, just before that game, they're both out, right? You're playing Balogun, who's a youngster. I've been saying this from last year when everyone was calling for Balogun. I said, listen, you ain't even seen him play. Remember me and you, sometimes I said, Eddie Nketiah's got a much better record than Balogun. Balogun's young. He's going to come good, but he's probably not ready yet, right?
Yeah.
And then, you look at like Saka, he's had not even half a game pre-season. He's just come back from the England setup thing. So he's hardly had any pre-season, and then, there was various players, important players missing, like Thomas Partey. So I'm looking at it like that. There's players missing. There's players that are not, even Ben White, really. He's only he's had a game in pre-season because he was with the England squad. He was with the England squad. Xhaka was away. So that's the only thing I can say. You know what I mean?
I said to you about pre-season is that for me, they have to take pre-season serious because it's only a week away and then we're back into it. And we're into
but Ben White, I'm saying Ben White was with England, wasn't he? So that's the only mitigation. But even with that, that performance, and even with that, the team we got on the pitch is still supposed to be able to beat Brentford.
Exactly my point. And this is what I'm trying to say is, if that's the case, we only can look into one direction. Now, people will say, because I've been going back and forth with people underneath the AFTV post, and you know what I mean? Some are saying, oh, this guy hasn't got a brain, like it's Cronky that needs going, not Arteta. And I'm like, yo, right now, it's easier to get rid of Arteta than Cronky. Yeah? Them man, they don't even care. I bet, I don't even know if Cronky knows they are pre-season or a Premier League match just play. He probably don't even know the difference. Yeah? It's easier for we replace Arteta right now we have players there. There's no way you're telling me all these 20+ players have just become dead all of a sudden in one. No, sir, no way. It's impossible. So you have to look to the leader of them, who is sending out the tactics. Who, when I'm like I said, when I'm watching it, you cannot ask me what style does Arsenal play. I wouldn't know. It looks like we're putting out players and they're playing individually. So there's only at one point throughout the game, Robbie, I see like we were playing as a team where there was a nice little bit of link-up play between Emma Smith-Rowe, Pepe, and maybe Balogun. I think it was very nice, quick touches, quick passes, and I was like, that's the Arsenal we know how to play like. What we used to see him play like. As I said, no, it's just like it's individuals. It's literally just picks the 11, the tactics they give them. They like Xhaka. Yeah, this is another thing. Yeah. I said we're going to start with the same team. We practically have the same team. The only thing different with the team now is the kit. Nothing different are the same thing from last season. Just the kit different. Xhaka, when he plays for Switzerland, brother, him not play like this. The man play good. We actually look upon him and say, yo, I hope we get this Xhaka next season. I hope we get this Xhaka. Why is he? Because Arteta is playing players not how they put them in places where they're not want to be, giving them tactics that they don't. This is not how we play. It
doesn't fit them.
It don't fit them.
It doesn't fit them, and it was just an awful performance. As I said, you know, I mean, it was already demoralising after Friday night, and then as I said, to then go on and see, you know, some of the other results. I mean, Manchester United were very, very, very impressive. You know, I mean, went 1-1. In their game, and then they just absolutely turned it on. Bruno,
and make a point, Robbie. They didn't play any new players. They played with players from last season. They started,
and they just, you know, they were just on fire. You know, Chelsea, same thing. You know, what I mean, they were electric. Remember, Chelsea had just had a game on the Wednesday night.
Yeah,
they just had a game on the Wednesday night. They left out a lot of players. Lukaku weren't playing. He's still isolating. They completely blitzed. Leicester winning, as I said, Tottenham yesterday. Tottenham against Manchester City, even though they're a bit fortunate in the first half, you know, Manchester City missing a couple of easy chances. But you have to say they defended brilliantly, and I thought they deserved to win that game, much as we hate to see it. They did deserve to win that game. And that was an impressive performance against Manchester City. And then you look at our performance. It's not just because, you know what, we all know it's the Premier League. You can lose to a Brentford, you can lose to a Norwich. It happens, right? But it's the performance.
Exactly.
That's always a thing to me, because you know what, in years gone by, I've seen us lose to small teams, but we peppered them. Yeah, we peppered those teams, right? And then they got a little breakaway or a little set piece, but this one was different. And then the other thing about it is that tactically, that guy Frank outdone Arteta by a mile. Because if you look at Brentford, you watch Brentford over the years, they're a ball passing team. They pass the ball, they build up, you know what I mean? But what they did is he completely changed up his tactics. He's obviously been looking at Arsenal pre-season and how susceptible we are to, you know, crosses and stuff like that.
Set pieces,
and they just went long. They just hit the ball up to Ivan Toney. He'd hold it up. He'd brush off, you know, our defenders. He'd hold the ball up. They won every second ball. Where was the midfield trying to
tell you what Ivan tell me?
They won every second ball, and it was so easy for them. It was embarrassing. And that team had no backbone, man. And then when I tell you the thing, what it is that all summer, you, me, every other Arsenal fan in this country and around the world have been saying the same thing. We need a defensive midfielder. We need a right back. We need a striker, possibly. We need a attacking midfielder. And all we did, and I said this before going into the game, that Mikel Arteta's put a lot of pressure on himself. All he's did is gone and bought a centre back that really and truly we could have. I'm happy we bought him, but we had Saliba. If money's short, you could say we've got Saliba, right? And he's gone and bought two youngsters, one to cover at left back, which we did need a left back cover, and then another youngster who's, you know, you're looking towards for the future in that midfield era. He ain't done nothing else. Him and Edu, they've not addressed any of the other really important positions that they should have done. And this is why he's getting so much stick. I mean, I see today even Conte being linked with Arsenal already.
Please.
And, you know, you think about it, it's Chelsea next. Chelsea will have Lukaku. He's going to be ready for that game because he's going to be out of his isolation and everything. And then the following week when we play Man City, they'd have probably bought Kane by then.
Of course. Don't get me wrong. The reason why Kane hasn't gone to Man City is because Tottenham don't want to sell him until they played Man City. No, they played him. They will sell him. They will sell him now. And they beat them as well. They're going to be like, here, go on to a team where we beat. You understand what I mean? My problem as well, what I had from this weekend is, Robbie, I actually looked and I was like, which team could I say confidently I could see my team beating? Not one team in the Premier League. Not one. We are right now. Every team wants to play us because they just look at that's the problem. We are looking at, like as you said, Liverpool, Man City, Man United, Chelsea, all of them. Even though Man City lose, we know that we watched the game and we said, boy, Tottenham got a goal and they defended very well. We cannot do those things. We will lose to both those teams.
I'm very worried for the next two games coming up. And as I said, right at the start of this transfer window, when I saw the fixture list come out, I said, listen, we got to be prepared for the start of this season. And not only, you know, all right, he had a bit of bad luck, as you said, with the fact that the illness and then even then, is that illness?
I know illness, because here now they might talk about, oh, they're doubtful for this week. The man,
I mean, what have they got? COVID? Is what sort of illness is this? Elaborate, or is this again another? There seems to be is discipline problems. There's all kind of problems.
Arteta sickness. Them have Arteta sickness. I'm sick of Arteta.
Let's idiot of the week.
Idiot of the week, Arsenal. I'm not even agree on it. Idiot of the week, Arsenal. Fully done. Idiot them. Well, no, Arteta and above. Idiot them. Idiot. Come back with your same tactics from last season. You see it never worked. And you come back with the same tactics. You still try to play out from the back. When you see the man them cannot play out from the back. Brentford catch we out twice when we have play out from the back. Yeah, it's poor. There's no identity to Arsenal right now. It's just individuals out there playing and kicking the ball together. Big up the ones who do try, because I can see that this is what goes back to what I'm saying. There's no way these 11 players that he put out are that dead that we cannot beat Brentford. It's tactics. It's the tactics. It's what the manager, the formation, everything that he's putting out there, it's not working. He doesn't change things up. He doesn't try to do anything different. Pepe, we saw Pepe last season had some good time on the right. At no point he said, you know what, Pepe, switch quick. Play a little 15 on the right and see if it changes anything. Nothing. It's just the same. You have to change it up because we become predictable. And when you become predictable, people know what you're going to do. And that's when we will continue to lose. So, yeah, idiot are definitely him.
Boohoo man of the week.
Imagine this. Bias Premier League show, eh? Bruno. I forget to Bruno. Definitely get to Bruno.
Or even Pogba, you could have given to. I thought
Pogba.
He was unreal as well.
We could even get to Man United for that performance.
Yeah, but Bruno, that hat trick, it was,
definitely.
You know, a good hat trick.
No penalties as well, where, you know, normally we say, yeah, man, the man get 3 penalties, so we can't keep. Man silence the critics, and you know, it's looking at Man United, as I said, they played with the same team. They started that game. They were already winning with that game, with the same team they had from last season. And no, they've had Sancho and Varane added to that team. Boy, I know it's not like, you know, and then there is Leeds. I'm not even gonna say it's just Leeds, because Leeds stayed in the Premier League last season and Leeds were beating teams left, right, and centre last season as well. So yeah, that was a great performance from them. And
it was.
Yeah, we just have to make sure when we do face them that we can compete at least.
When are you back?
I left right now because by the time you put out this, they might go watch it and know somebody they are Liverpool. So Liverpool fans, I'm not in Liverpool when you see this. I'm back in. I leave now.
What it was, I was going to suggest maybe you stay there for another week, man. You know what I mean? Because we've got Chelsea next. Maybe stay up there till next week, Monday. Because enjoy yourself. Because boy,
Robbie,
it's going to get beat.
You see, look at my top right. Look, see it. I don't have none. If I be honest, I mean, I've none. Me I try. I'm trying to be positive. See, all you people who say, "Oh, be positive, Yardy. Stop being negative." Look, my thoughts say faith. But may I lose it right now with Arsenal. I'm telling you.
Definitely. Listen, Yardy, thank you very much. Thank you to everybody. Don't forget the link is in the description if you want to get anything from Boohoo Man. They've got a great range out at the moment, so make sure you check it out. Don't forget their active range. And we will be back next week. Yardy will be back in the studio.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a long weekend.